This is Into the Multiverse with Josh Peck.
Hello and welcome to Into the Multiverse. I know it's a little bit different. I'm not in the studio today. For those of you who missed Chalk Talk yesterday, what happened was I had a minor knee injury. It's not too bad, not anything to be super worried about. I am going to need surgery. So for the next few weeks, I'm going to be recording this from home. I'm unable to get to my get to the Skywatch studio for now until after the surgery, but that's okay. Prayers would be appreciated. And after a few weeks, we'll be rolling right back in the studios. So just for the next couple of weeks, I am recording Into the Multiverse at home, and just wanted to let you know that that's what's going on. So this is not the new deal. This is only for now. So there have been a lot of questions about this Trump's Space Force thing, and I want to talk about that first. If you haven't had a chance to do so, make sure you subscribe and click the little bell to let YouTube know that you always want to be notified when a new episode of Into the Multiverse comes up. And in case it doesn't notify you, because many times that is the case, YouTube just doesn't notify people anymore, you will always get a new episode of Into the Multiverse every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. I did not want to take any kind of breaks. I didn't want to put Multiverse on hiatus or Chalk Talk. I have not missed a week since the show started about 2 years ago, and I don't plan on starting now, so that's why we're doing it this way. But yeah, I love doing the show, and I love being able to talk to all of you. So this Trump Space Force thing, the Pentagon tackles a call to create a sixth military branch, which is pretty interesting, but it's got some people kind of wondering what is going on. Are we going to be fighting space aliens or something? No, that's not what President Trump's talking about, at least not that we know of. But no, there's no reason to believe that. President Trump's order for the Pentagon to establish a space force was met with everything from confusion to doubt to amazement and excitement. So if you felt confusion too, that's okay. You're not the only one. And of course, there were a few people even making Star Wars jokes online and stuff. But as the uproar from that announcement has been dying down, the hardest part for leaders inside the Pentagon begins. How to actually do this, how to create a new and unprecedented branch of the armed services. John Krasitis, a professor of mechanical and aerospace engineering at the University of Buffalo, is quoted as saying, "There are a lot of questions that need to be answered. They will need to sort of out who is going to handle what." There was a typo in that quote. How agencies will cooperate, what NASA's role will be. There's a lot of things we still don't know. End quote. Top Pentagon spokeswoman Dana W. White said in a brief statement that a policy board will begin working on the creation of what would be the sixth military branch. She's quoted as saying, "We understand the president's guidance. Our policy board will begin working on the issue, which has implications for intelligence operations, for the Air Force, Army, Marines, and Navy. Working with Congress, this will be a deliberate process with a great deal of input from multiple stakeholders." End quote. But long before the Pentagon can get down to the business of actually figuring out what the Space Force would do and who would command it, Trump's proposal has a few hurdles to clear in Congress. So despite his role as commander-in-chief of the armed forces, the president will need to get Congress to pass legislation on a number of issues. So for instance, legislation would need to be required to move authorities currently serving in other branches of the armed services to the new Space Force. Legislation would also need to form new positions within the Space Force and determine its size and allocate funding, things like that. So Republican Representative Michael Turner of Ohio, who chairs the House Armed Services Subcommittees on Tactical Air and Land Forces, said in a statement, quote, "Establishing a service branch requires congressional action. We still don't know what a Space Force would do, who is going to be in it, or how much it's going to cost." So a provision for the Pentagon to establish this type of thing was floated last year by the House in the fiscal 2018 Defense Authorization Plan, but it was eventually stripped from the text during negotiations in the Senate and replaced with a provision ordering the Pentagon to look into the usefulness of such a force. So Turner has said, quote, the congressionally mandated report evaluating a space force to answer those questions is due in August after we get the report that we require as a legislative body and the president signed off on, then this issue can be appropriately evaluated for what's best for national security. End quote. So even if the Space Force idea makes it through Congress, which faces challenges, including an amendment from Senators Bill Nelson, who's a Democrat from Florida, and Tom Cotton, a Republican from Arkansas, to the defense authorization bill prohibiting a Space Corps from being funded, there are numerous other issues that will need to be hashed out before a military branch is created dedicated to defending U.S. interests in outer space. So Crassidus says, quote, the first thing they'll need to do is sort out what agency will take on what role and how they will will they cooperate, end quote. Now, other than the Coast Guard, all branches already have commands dedicated to space, with the Air Force currently functioning as the primary space force for the military. And according to numerous reports, the Air Force is apparently not too happy about the idea of handing over their operations to another branch. So Nelson himself, who's a former Army captain and astronaut, tweeted out on Monday, quote, the president told a U.S. general to create a new space force, a sixth branch of military today, which generals tell me they don't want, end quote. Now, NASA so far has not weighed in on Trump's order and instead issued a general statement Monday, the Monday following Trump's National Space Council speech. NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said in a statement, quote, NASA strongly supports the White House's continued bold direction in forging a sustainable and focused space policy that strengthens American leadership, end quote. There's also the question of how large of a force the service would need and how a new officer corps would be trained. So experts told military.com that the Space Force would need anywhere between 15,000 and 20,000 active personnel, augmented by a small army of civilian contractors, and that a service academy like the U.S. Military Academy at West Point or the Air Force Academy in Colorado would need to be established to train its future leaders. Todd Harrison, director of Aerospace Security Project at the Center for Strategic and International Studies, said, quote, the most compelling justification for an independent service for space is on the personnel side. A grooming of a space cadre of space professionals, that's where the Air Force has not offered much in the way of reform, end quote. But maybe the biggest question is, what will the Space Force actually do? And that's got people kind of going a little nuts online, thinking that we're going to be battling space aliens or something like that. You know, we've seen a lot having to do with that, and I don't think that's what this is all about. Inside the Pentagon, there's a small but vocal minority pushing programs such as anti-satellite weapons, missile detection capability, and space-based solar power to counter mounting space threats from Russia and China. But others like Buffalo's Crassadus has argued is the biggest danger to future space exploration is debris floating around the Earth's orbit now. So it's stuff like that they have in mind. And whatever the mission, experts tend to agree that a Space Force won't be something that will be patrolling the final frontier, you know, anytime during Trump's current presidential team. So it's likely not like an exploration type of deal. But Crassadus has said this is, quote, this is something that's going to take a long time to get running, 3 to 5 years if things run smoothly, and this actually gets through Congress, end quote. My bet it's going to be a lot longer than that because you can't run anything smoothly through Congress. So we'll see. But then again, President Trump has been able to make things happen a lot faster than most would expect. So it's pretty interesting. You know, it kind of seems a little bit on the dull side to begin with, you know, space debris. But then again, if we do actually go to war with another country or something like that, having a Space Force could be extremely beneficial with satellites and missiles and stuff like that. So there is actually good arguments for this type of thing that have nothing to do with space aliens. Of course, if we were ever invaded, I guess the Space Force would be the one to take care of it. So we'll have to wait and see on that. All right. So again, like I said, I'm going to be recording a few of these from home for the next couple of weeks, and as soon as I am back on my feet, we will be recording this from the lovely, beautiful Skywatch studio. So as soon as I can get back there, we will do that. But this will do for now. Next week, we're going to be talking about some quantum weirdness of light. This discovery, this experiment that actually happened a few months ago. But it's really, really interesting, and it has something to do with a quantum delayed choice experiment from years and years earlier. Does our observation of a particle change what it does before it has a chance to do anything? That's what we're going to be talking about next week. All right, again, if you haven't had a chance to do so, make sure you subscribe, click on the bell, tell YouTube that you want to be notified, and if it doesn't notify you, you can bookmark the page at least, or just know that every Thursday morning at 9 a.m. You will get a new episode of Into the Multiverse. All right, thank you all so much. Until next time, take care and God bless.
With all the talk in media today about women's rights to be heard and treated with fairness and decency in all public platforms, Donna Howell's timely new book boldly establishes how it was Jesus Christ himself that settled this issue a long time ago. And at a time when it would have been considered revolutionary and prophetic. Bible scholars know that Jesus, while recognizing appropriate gender roles, intentionally began the first women's empowerment movement. But why did he do that? The answer to that mystery is in the Bible itself. Now, in one of the most talked about new releases of the year, The Handmaiden's Conspiracy by best-selling author Donna Howell. The permanent changes Jesus made regarding women's rights, their value, and their role in delivering his message to the world is brought to light.
And if God decides to raise up a radical, he only needs one voice for an entire Great Awakening, and it could be yours.
This is Reverend Donna Howell.
Once you read The Handmaiden's Conspiracy, you'll never think about the church that Jesus Christ started and that his apostles decreed in the same way again. The Handmaiden's Conspiracy, available March 1st at skywatchtv.com.
Follow the cultural and historic backdrop behind Paul's words in the New Testament that correct the record on some of the most misinterpreted scriptures in modern history in relation to the issue of women, their leadership role in the church, and understand properly what Paul was responding to when the epistles were written. Skywatch TV is proud to announce one of the most anticipated, talked about new releases of the year, The Handmaiden's Conspiracy promotional offer. When you order The Handmaiden's Conspiracy from Skywatch TV, you'll receive Skywatch TV's brand new, beautifully bound, limited edition red letter King James Version of the Holy Bible with Apocrypha. In addition to the Old and New Testaments, this never-before-released, one-of-a-kind deluxe collector's Bible includes the ancient apocryphal books like Enoch, Jubilees, and 15 more ancient texts that the disciples of Christ read and quoted from. This gorgeous, limited edition Bible is available exclusively from Skywatch TV and holds a retail value of $80. Yours absolutely free for a limited time. That's right, absolutely free when you purchase the Handmaiden's Conspiracy promotional offer. Also included in this once-in-a-lifetime offer is the Donna Howell collection that includes all three of her runaway best-selling works, Radicals, Redeemed Unredeemable, and Final Fire. Sold separately, this unprecedented promotional offer retails for $160. Yours now for only $29.95 plus shipping and handling. This is one of the most exciting promotional offers we've made available, and you don't want to miss this opportunity to receive all four of best-selling author Donna Howell's works, along with the remarkable deluxe collector's King James Version of the Bible that includes the ancient apocryphal books of Enoch, Jubilees, and 15 more ancient texts. In fact, order numerous sets to give away to every Bible enthusiast and student you know. The Handmaiden's Conspiracy promotional offer. Order now at the Skywatch TV store or call 1-844-750-4985.